What's going on, all you Godfather and Mafia enthusiasts? Your two favorite wise guys are back once again. And that's right, we're back to talk about the last batch of episodes and season one as a whole of Paramount Plus's Godfather, the making of the Godfather epic, The Offer.
It's the offer you can't
refuse. Hey,
Oh, so hell of a year for Miles Teller playing Ruddy in this, the producer of The Godfather, really making this movie happen. All the issues they come across in the film, they really capture in this TV show, having to do with the mob and, a bunch of craziness of, budgets and all, the people that are at the studio that are involved. And, it's all about money and just a lot of issues they came across making this, but the final product really paid off, and it really captures that perfectly leading up until the end. And a film that won Oscars, kickstarted careers for actors, actresses. So it's a very pivotal film and one of the greatest movies of all time.
Anybody who loves watching like the making of a great film like The Godfather, it's a really great look at that. Everything that goes into it, everything that has to be in line to really make a project like that come together. With all these competing egos, you got the head honchos of the studios trying to decide who they're going to get cast. And then you have a filmmaker like Francis Ford Coppola, who has a vision for this, along with Mario Puzo, the novelist of The Godfather, who worked together with Francis Ford Coppola. But they had a vision for what they wanted, and just like going through all the problems and all the obstacles in the way that come along to like fully realize your vision. And Francis Ford Coppola was a fairly young filmmaker at the time, looking to make this great film capturing the mafia lifestyle, and having to deal with real life mobsters on the side was pretty crazy too, with Ruddy being the producer and the star of the show. Miles Teller here, and another great performance this summer, like you mentioned, flying high from Top Gun Maverick right now. Pretty much everybody loved his portrayal of Rooster. It really captured who we'd picture as Goose's son. It's hard to do that, and he really nailed it. And then this one is Ruddy. He really nails it too. I love his character in this young guy who doesn't have a lot of Hollywood experience, coming into Hollywood, seeing movies on the big screen, and really getting excited by that and saying, I want to try this. I want to produce my own movies. And it all started with The Godfather here, and seeing him having to come face to face with big New York Italian mafia members, Joe Colombo, and all the problems along with that, people getting threatened to be killed, and then we see some, mob wars happening. They really didn't want the mafia to be, in a movie getting made fun of or made to look terrible. And Ruddy had to navigate this film while still, wanting Francis Ford Coppola's vision to be fully realized and having to work together with everybody really to make this happen. And the fact that these movies were so good and so successful and made so much money is just phenomenal. And it goes to show you like all the hard work that was put in there, how it all came together with Ruddy. And of course, Matthew Good's character, Robert Evans, the other big wig at the studio, how they all had to work together to really realize this. And I had a great time over these 10 episodes. There wasn't really a bad episode. If you're not so much into the making of something, a lot of the details and stuff might bore you or something. But for anybody with a passion and love for filmmaking and kind of what all goes into that and putting everything together, really had a great time with The Offer.
Yeah, I really had a great time with it too. I finally got around to binging it, finishing it off like maybe a few days ago. I had a great time with it. Didn't know all this went on behind the scenes, all the trouble they had making this film. I thought it was going to be easy peasy, but with the studio interference, the real life mafia, Ruddy's character being involved in that, not sure what's going to happen to him. He really risks it all. He loses his relationship with his girlfriend, and he almost dies trying to make this movie, and all the obstacles that came along the way and overcoming everything in this, the making of this movie. And it really paid off. He was, a big time producer after that, winning an Oscar. So he paved the way for his career and risked it all. And really great show. I thought that the cast across the board was really great in this. Great atmosphere, cool, shooting, seeing the behind the scenes of making a movie. Francis Ford Coppola, young, Dan Fogler playing this character, really knocked it out of the park. Having all the different people that worked at Paramount back in the day, and see how they're all big drunks and partiers, and didn't really take it too seriously and just wanted to get the movie made to make a lot of money, which they did. And it was really cool. It just felt like being a fly on the wall back in the day, going back to the 1970s. And, film junkies like ourselves, we love making of documentaries and things like that, how they made the movies. So this is really in depth, really interesting, really memorable, and definitely one of the better shows of the year, especially on Paramount Plus. With that being said, I'm going to give the first season of The Offer a 4 out of 5 Miles Teller hair pieces.
I had a great time with The Offer as well. I loved all the actors that they chose to portray, Al Pacino, obviously Marlon Brando. The choice for him was really solid. I thought, he had some dialogue as Marlon Brando in there, and he really captured the essence and had the mannerisms and even the voice of Marlon Brando. Very impressive. Nobody really looked off in it. And I love the costumes. I love this era that it was set in, the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, trying to put this film together, and how they even had to travel into Italy. They wanted it that authentic. They wanted to actually be there in Italy and shoot the scene. So just seeing everything that was put into it. Juno Temple's character, Betty McCart, Al Ruddy's secretary, I really thought she knocked it out of the park too. I love her on Ted Lasso, as well as, a couple other shows and movies she's been in. She's really phenomenal, up and coming actress. I really had a great time with this series. I'm glad I watched it. Obviously, I was going to. I'm a big Godfather fan, and just it's amazing to read at the end after they get this film made. Al Ruddy didn't continue on to work on the sequel. He didn't come on as a producer. He wanted to make his own film, and he ended up making The Longest Yard, and that film too. I think he won an Oscar for as well. So pretty phenomenal career and pretty awesome look at this man's life, being a Hollywood outsider and coming in and really putting his mark on Hollywood, and just how this project came together, and just phenomenal how, obviously The Godfather won all this, but, The Godfather 2 was, just as, if not more successful than the first one of the biggest and best sequels of all time. So this one is a show that makes me want to go back and watch the trilogy. I just got the trilogy on 4K. I've seen part 1 so far, so I'm going to go and watch the rest of these films. Phenomenal pieces of work, and Francis Ford Coppola at his very best, along with all those group of actors. And rest in peace, James Caan. He just passed away. Obviously, the legendary Sonny. So we want to mention that too. Rest in peace. With that being said, I'm going to give Paramount Plus's first season limited series of The Offer a 4 out of 5 Richard Evans hair pieces. Come on and drink with me, boys. So what did you guys think of The Offer on Paramount Plus? Did you guys enjoy it as much as we did? Did you like all the behind the scenes, history, watching everything that kind of happened behind the scenes that we didn't ever really hear about, and learning about that like we did? Well, let us know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to click subscribe. Follow along with us on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com.
Also, check out our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of videos coming out, me and this guy. We got The Great Outdoors. We're going back to the 1980s to review that. Obi-Wan first season, Thor, a brand new film that came out, and plenty more. And also podcasts coming up very soon with the entire crew of the Cinephellas boys. Stay tuned for that.
So thank you for joining us as we just reviewed The Offer from Paramount Plus, the making of The Godfather. We were both really impressed, and we want to know what you guys think after, watching our review. Please leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think. Thank you guys for following along with us, telling your friends, clicking like, commenting. We love talking to you guys and hearing from you. So please continue doing that. So until the next Cinefellas TV review, I'm Uncle Henry. That's my good mate, Logan Myers. We're headed to the back lot to party with old Richard Evans. Have a fancy night, y'all. See you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.